Hey everyone, this is Bridget Willard in San Antonio here with.
Me, Warren laine-naida in my hand. Oh, there's my hand in Bremen.
I thought you said Miami. So
No,
we're going to switch
yeah,
up these videos. We want to make really useful tech tip videos for small business owners who interface with marketing teams, web developers, and get this jargon just thrown at you. And you're just like, hold up, time out. What the hell is a sitemap? So be sure to tune in, like this video if you like it. If you don't like it, press the like button twice and share it to a friend, email it to a friend, and share it on the internet. We really appreciate it. Warren, without
Bridget.
further ado,
Okay, yeah.
what is a
What
sitemap?
is a sitemap? Okay, this is a really good question, and it's really important because what we usually talk about a lot is SEO, getting people's websites found. Okay, and it's really hard to get your website found if, like, Google can't find you. Google's got like 95%, so they're pretty much the monopoly on search at the moment. And so you got to be found. So a sitemap is actually two different things, okay? Now I'm just going to scroll down here to the bottom of my website because this is a sitemap most people know, okay? You go to a website and somewhere in the navigation is going to be a button. When you click on it, you get a sitemap, which is a listing of every page or blog post or article or product on your website. Okay, so that's a sitemap for us, the users. Now, Google really likes websites that have a sitemap. Okay,
Oh,
yeah, because
I
this
don't
is,
think I have one.
you don't have one. No, we don't have one on our small business website either. This is why I'm using my website as an example. But Google wants websites to be user-friendly. They want them to be accessible. They want to be useful. And, you know, a website that has no sitemap might not be too useful if it also, like here, I don't see a search. I don't have a little search box. So
I
how
do
are
have a
people going to
search
find
box.
things? Well, this is good because if you don't have a sitemap, people are going to use the, the little search. So this is
Okay.
really useful. Okay, so Google wants you to have a sitemap, and you can see here I've got the sitemap. Okay, so that's one thing. Okay, and for most of us, that's answers the question. But sitemap goes a lot deeper. Okay, if you come over to Google here and you type in like what is a sitemap, okay, then look at all the possibilities there are. What's a sitemap in SEO? What's a sitemap URL? What is a sitemap.xml? Yeah, why is it important? What's a sitemap generator? So obviously, sitemap is a little more than just what we find on the page. The really important answer here is this sitemap XML. Okay, so that's a sitemap, and it's got a document type .xml, which means extended markup language. Okay, now we're probably not going to want to build this ourselves. Okay, you can, if you want, build a sitemap extended markup language document, and Google will use this sitemap to index your website and to find out exactly what is on it. And that's why the second type of sitemap, the sitemap XML, is so important. Okay, if you want, you can go to Google developers and it will show you how to build and submit a sitemap. But you probably don't have a lot of time for that. I don't have time for that. Okay, so how are we going to integrate a sitemap into our website? And maybe we already have one. I don't
That
know.
one I do have. I just had to email my web developer right now. Okay, so we have the sitemap for the users, and the
Yep,
use case of that is the one for the users. Why is that important?
this is important specifically so when I'm on a website, I can find what's there.
Okay.
Okay, for Google, it's not so interesting.
Okay, but the XML is for technical reasons.
The XML, this is what we're going to want to have so Google can index our site.
So we literally need that to
We
be
need that
seen
to be seen. Yeah.
because
Now,
the internet's blind.
The internet's blind. I mean, Google's not completely stupid. Eventually, they're going to discover things on our site because, you know, it's shared on social media, et cetera, et cetera. But that could take a long time. And we don't want
Okay.
to lose all that SEO traction. Okay?
So the second half of the question, what is a sitemap and why use it? We're using it in order to be found on the internet.
Yeah, we
So
want to
Google
be
will
found.
index our site. Indexing our site is another jargon we're saying. It means people can search and it's part of the database of results that are possible, right?
That's right. And
Okay.
not just for Google, but DuckDuckGo, Bing, Yahoo,
For all
you
the
know,
searches.
everything. Yeah,
Yes.
this
Okay.
XML file is really important. Okay, so if you're not too sure, I mean, maybe your website already has one. Okay, so I'm going to go over to our website, yoursmallbusinessmarketing.com, and I'm going to check and see, does our website already have this XML? And you can test that simply by adding at the end sitemap.xml.
Okay.
And then pressing return. If nothing happens, you need a sitemap XML. Now, we don't need one because, hey, we've got one.
Right.
Right? So this sitemap XML, luckily, we don't have to do manually because it is done by Yoast.
Yay! So
All
Yoast
right.
is an SEO plugin for WordPress.
Exactly. So Yoast and a few others are plugins that we would use on our WordPress website. Now, in the previous update to WordPress, WordPress without any SEO plugins also now includes a sitemap XML.
So we would call that a native integration.
That would be a native integration. There you
So
go.
if somebody started a WordPress website today, they do not need any plugins to have a sitemap.
They do not.
Okay.
Now, there are advantages to having the plugin.
Okay.
So I will tell, our sitemap XML is very useful because it breaks down the different types of information. So Google can see what sort of posts are on our website, what pages, what category, the authors. If we had a store or we had events on our site, it would also have products, events. Every type of content is broken down automatically in our sitemap XML.
So I have lessons and downloads. Let's see about mine, bridgetwillard.com/.
Let's see. Now, only if you've included those in your plugin.
I think so.
Willard.com and then sitemap.xml.
Because I use Rank Math, and I told them to index the downloads and the lesson plans.
All right, well, let's see.
I don't have one.
You don't have one. That's impossible. You don't have one. That's, let's try one more. Sitemap index point XML. Okay, you might want to take a look
no
at that.
bueno.
Bad bueno, no bueno. Yeah, that's really bad. You might want to check that. Okay. All right. So, good. The XML has different types of content, and that's really important for Google. Then they can see, you know, what's on the page, what's on our posts, and we can click on one of these. Like, for example, these are the pages, and we can see a listing of every page, how many images are there, and very important for Google as well, when was this page last modified? Because Google likes to see the content is new. Okay. So this is really, really useful. And then, of course, if I click on the link, it will go right to the page. Okay.
Okay.
So if I've logged in to the back end of my WordPress website, I will see on the left-hand side with all of my other plugins, I will see my SEO plugin from Yoast. Okay.
Okay.
Now, once I've installed Yoast or Rank Math or all-in-one SEO, it will then automatically create the sitemap XML for me. Okay. One of the reasons I like Yoast is if we go to their website, they offer so much free stuff. Okay. And if I'm looking for, let's like go over to the search and type sitemap, okay, just this topic alone gives me a lot of information, like what is an XML sitemap, how to submit it to search engines, everything that you would like to know. Yoast is very, very good with this. Okay.
It's
All right.
sitemap_index. You
Sitemap.
freaked me out.
Okay. Thank you.
I was like, what?
It's odd though that there is
Oh,
not the sitemap index, because normally this then goes to the sitemap underscore. Okay, so you've got it. So this is good. There's 7
posts, pages,
sitemaps, yeah,
downloads, course, talks,
courses,
videos.
talks, videos. Excellent. Okay. Phew. Okay,
You
good.
freaked me out.
It's okay. These are good. These are wake-up calls. This is why we're doing this, to wake ourselves up as well.
Even we have trouble with it.
Well, of course we're just normal
We.
people. Yeah, we're nothing special. We're not like, magicians. Okay, so we've got our sitemap, okay? And we can do it either with Yoast or with rank math, whatever we like, okay? But it's
Okay.
really important that we have this, because this is the first step for Google being able to index us and we can be found.
Okay.
All right. Good. So we
But
know what.
I do have a
Go ahead.
question.
Yep.
So if WordPress automatically includes this from 5.8 forward,
Mhm.
I don't understand why I need the plugin.
Because the plugin, the XML in the plugin is one feature. The SEO
Oh,
plugin.
I don't need the plugin for the sitemap. I need the plugin for other things.
The plugin is really for everything. It's the whole package.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
That I was starting to wonder, like.
No. You can. I mean, the plugins offer so much stuff, and the Sitemap XML is one of those things.
Right.
Yeah.
Just clarifying for me and the rest of the world.
Yeah. If you've got WordPress and you're not interested in SEO, you've got your Sitemap plugin, and then now you can just turn the video off. Okay, so we know why we need the sitemap. We know how to generate the sitemap. The question is, now that we have the sitemap, what do we do with it?
Oh, okay, yeah.
And is that the only thing that we have to worry about? There's 2 points that I get a lot of questions, or the same question from my clients, is that there's the idea that every time we create content, we have to resubmit this, or we have to submit this to Google.
That's how this video started. I did it every single time.
No, you don't need to. I mean, okay, now, earlier, okay, we had to do this, okay? Google was busy doing other things.
Yeah, back in the day.
So we used to submit it. Now, you may have built your own sitemap. Okay, maybe that's a lot of, go away, there you go. Maybe you built your own sitemap, or you're not using a CMS. Maybe you've got your own website. Half of the websites on the internet do not use content management systems.
So they're just plain XMLs.
They're just plain their own
HTML.
websites. HTML, PHP, whatever it is. And now, if you've done this way and you've built your own XML, you will need to submit your sitemap to Google.
Okay.
Okay. But one of the benefits of using an SEO plugin is that the plugins ping Google every time we create new content. It goes, ping, Google, new content. That is a major win for using a SEO plugin.
Okay. Can I ask you a question?
You can ask.
It's like, okay, everybody else, you can watch this, but Bridget has questions. No, okay, so this is why I knew we were supposed to publish regularly, so there's that constant pinging. So I have a question. I have a unnamed client who will binge approve articles, and I backdate them because they are not approving them as I'm writing them every week.
Yes.
What is that? Does it matter if I backdate them for Google, or is that helpful, or does it matter? I mean,
Well, I mean, Google will see when they're published. There's the publication
regardless
date is
of the
important.
date.
Yeah, the date has nothing
Oh,
to do
okay.
with it. It's and you can see it here as well.
Yeah.
Publication date, and it's exactly to the minute.
So you want that cadence of the pinging.
You do. Now,
So I was right about that part.
yeah,
Backdating it's just for the people that look at the website.
eye candy. I mean, it has
Yes,
uses, of
okay.
course. It has uses. And you know, I've also read where people will update content
Yeah.
2 or 3 times a day, and so they're getting these pings. But I've also read that like Google doesn't like that.
Okay. So it'd be better if I published one and then scheduled the next
Sure. Yeah.
a week later. If we're trying to do a week, if we're
Yeah.
trying to get that week, it'd be better to skip a week. And then I get 2, I publish 1, I schedule the one for 7 days later. That would be better for the pinging.
It doesn't matter. I mean, you could do it 7 times a day. If it's serious. I mean, a lot of websites, news websites, event websites, store websites, they are going to have that content.
Well, because they have the volume. But if
course, yeah.
you're a small business who's only publishing once a week,
Then publish once a week.
then if I get them all approved, it would be better for me to skip a week, publish one, and schedule the next one a week later.
It makes more sense to spread your content. Why have 4 things on one day and no other things the rest of the week?
Right. I got it.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking. I'm so glad we did this.
Yeah.
Next. Sorry.
Okay, so
but this is important, right? Because
important.
we tell our clients to publish every like at least once a week. That's just life support, by the way. That's not growth. That's life support. So it's the ping of when it's published. Google doesn't care about what the published date is. They care about the date that the actual sitemap was changed.
Yeah, well, the sitemap will include, okay, if we have pages here, let's go to the pages. Each of the pages has a different modification date and time.
Right.
Okay, and that's what Google's looking at.
Okay.
The URL or the title of the page could say 2019, but if this says 2021, this is for Google the interesting thing.
So if you're a small business like me who hasn't published in a couple of weeks and you're kind of stuck with ideas for a minute, if I went back and updated one of my blog posts, that would count as a cadence ping.
Yes, this is why it's so important.
So do something every week to your website.
Yeah.
Do one thing every week to your website.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you probably should, because there's probably old content there. Open up your sitemap and look at the last modifications and see if there's anything that's 2 years old.
Yeah.
Maybe you don't need this content. Maybe there's something in there. Someone no longer works there, or something where you can update. You can use the sitemap as a way to manage your content.
Use the sitemap. That's very useful information. Thank you.
That's why we're here. Okay, so if we know why we need a sitemap, we know how to make a sitemap, we know what a sitemap does. We've been talking about getting it out to Google, okay? But what do we mean by that? And what can we do with our sitemap long term besides just managing our content? Okay. Once we have a sitemap, what's really important is that we submit it to Google over the Google Search Console. Okay.
But the plugin is doing that.
The plugin is submitting it to Google. Okay.
But not in the Search Console?
No, these are completely different things.
Oh,
Of course, yes,
okay.
yes,
Well,
yes,
that's clarity. So the
yes.
plugin submits the sitemap to
To
Google,
Google.
not to Google Search Console.
No, no. Google Search Console is much like Google Analytics. Okay, it's a tool that we can use. Okay, it's free. What Google Search Console does is it gives us an overview of the performance of our website based on the sitemap. It gives us information as to, let me just go over here, just going to a full report of my website. It shows us the clicks, the impressions, click-through rate, average position on Google. You know, you can set it for a time. And then it shows you specific search keywords that people have given into Google. These are not keywords that I've submitted, okay? They have nothing to do with anything other than terms that people have entered into Google search, and then how many times based on this has my website appeared in Google.
Oh my gosh, look at Content Marketing for Nonprofits. That book was great SEO.
It was. Well, yes, but the learning here is that over the last 3 months, 375 people have given this term into Google, but there's been no clicks. So this is a learning for me. It's like, okay, when this comes up, why are people then not clicking on my website?
Oh.
Okay. The tool also shows us the pages that got the impressions and the clicks. It shows us from what countries. It shows us the devices, etc., etc.
Let's see those pages.
Okay, so it is very much like Google Analytics.
Okay, so even that 2018 Agile Waterfall Adaptive, that's still relevant, that 2018 post.
Probably because of Agile.
Yeah.
Well, and all of the terms are in there. Agile, Waterfall, Adaptive, PERT, Lean, and Cake. These are all project management styles, processes, tools. So yeah, and we know, because we're talking something that happened almost 3.5 years ago, how many of those clicks were myself or clients or you or other people we were working with. So the Google Search Console is a great advantage because it does not count as a cookie. It is not third party, okay? So we could use this instead of analytics if we're just looking for general information. We do not have to declare this because Google doesn't touch our website, okay? All it does is it works on, if we look at the left-hand side, our sitemap. So if I have a sitemap, I can include it here, and then Google will say, okay, here, we have your sitemap. We've discovered 265 URLs on your website, and now we can give you information.
Wow.
Okay, and again, this is free. All you need is a Google account.
Okay.
And it's really easy to use. So what we're going to do the next 5 minutes is I'm going to show you how to install this or connect your website. Because, interestingly enough, we do not have it here in our small business website. So I am going to tell Google I would like to connect this website to Google Search Engine, Google Search Console. I'm going to move this over here. And I'm going to create a new property. If I can, there we go. And there are 2 ways to do this, the hard way and the easy way. We're going to do the easy way, all right? Easy way is I just connect my website to Google, and Google sees if, you own it. And I don't require any DNS verification, etc.
Yeah.
So URL, there's my website, continue. Google will now see if this website exists. Okay, it's found it. Now I can verify. Google gives us a lot of ways to verify. And we verify in that it will give us things to put into our website. And if we couldn't put them in our website, we wouldn't own it. So
Right.
what I like is the HTML tag. This is a simple meta tag that I will include in my theme header. If I don't have a theme, I can just put it in the header of my website. So I'm going to copy. Okay, now I'm going to go over to our website, and I'm going to go to my theme or our themes, and I'm going to the theme file editor. This will give me the current theme that I'm using. Okay. And I can't do that because we're using a child theme, and then I need to access it over the FTP. Balderdash. Well, let's see. I can't do that. I cannot do that right now unless I have FTP access, which I don't.
But you can't click on functions PHP?
It's not in functions PHP. It's in the header PHP.
Oh.
What I'm going to do then is quickly show you how I would do it in another website. Let's see. That's unfortunate, but the process is exactly the same. If you are logging into your WordPress, or like I say, you just have your access to your normal website. Once you've logged in, what you're looking for is you're going to go into your theme file editor. Okay, and that gives you, which is what we should see in the other website, a lot more information. And this is the important the header PHP. Okay. And
what happens if the site with the theme is updated?
Well, normally we're using a child theme. Okay.
Right.
If we're not using a child theme, yeah, then we run the risk of it being overwritten. But
or is it just a one-time thing to verify?
Exactly. We just need it for this one thing. So we would put it here in our head, here with our meta. Okay.
Okay.
And just put it right there.
Okay.
And once we save this, we would then go back to the Sitemap and we would click verify. Okay. And once it's verified, we would then go to our sitemaps, and we would just put in our sitemap. Okay. XML. Okay. We would submit it. Okay. Got it. And we would then get the success. Okay.
And then it shows you how many URLs it found. So if you have more than 265, either you didn't include something on purpose or on accident.
Exactly. Now, what you will see here, is it will show you if there's any errors or any pages that you have blocked. You can block them.
In the robots text?
Robots, exactly. You can also, in the SEO plugin, this little box that says, don't index this page.
Yeah, I don't have my lessons indexed, just the course.
Okay, there you go. Yeah. There's going to be pages that you don't want every Tom, Dick, Harry, Mary, and Susan to find on Google. So, yeah. So that's unfortunate that we need to, well, what we can do is, because we have the child theme, you'll take the header PHP from the parent theme and we'll move it over here. It's just that I don't have FTP access to get into the site on this laptop. So no one's perfect. I hope that this is cleared up. Any questions that you've got or had about Sitemap XML?
Well, it made it
complicated, and
it made it a lot more important.
They are very important. Sitemaps are really important. As my grandpappy used to say, if you can't find it, you can't use it.
Oh, if you can't find it, it does. I always say if you can't find it, it doesn't exist in reference to my former garage.
I see. Okay, because there's a lot of things we
I
can't
know I
find
have
that
a salsa
exist.
maker.
I mean, I'm really sure that, like, yeah, things of mine that I cannot find anymore, they exist. I can't find them.
Essentially, they don't.
Well, they exist for someone, or possibly another reality. I mean, let's.
It isn't.
Yeah, it could be.
That garage was another reality. Let me tell you about it. It was 20 years of marriage.
I also have a storage room that doesn't exist. I'm sure it exists, but I don't know if it. I have no idea what's going on with it. A
Yeah.
lot of my life is in that storage room, but it doesn't. I can't find it, so it really doesn't exist. Maybe I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. Like, essentially, if you can't use it, what use of it is to you?
Maybe you can't find it on purpose.
Yeah, avoidant behavior. But we're going to have our group therapy next time.
There you go. All right. So next week we are going to talk about either cookies or how to optimize your website to kick it up a notch for Google Core Web Vitals.
Yeah.
Okay. So we've got weeks ahead of us, and we're going to look at one little thing. And if you got questions, put them in there. We're going to answer them.
Yeah. As long as they're not like hater questions.
Catered questions?
Haters. Like,
Oh,
why is the
haters
sky
questions.
blue? I mean, why is the sky blue is a better question for a science channel.
It's not really blue. It doesn't have any color at all. We see it being blue, but it's not actually blue.
But if we perceive it, it's real.
That is that goes along well with the idea that this actually is the matrix, which we could talk about in a few weeks after. I want to do the cookies and the web dev thing first. So maybe in 4 weeks, we're going to be talking about how this really could be the matrix.
Well, Sitemap is sort of a matrix.
All right. Then thank you from Bremen.
Thank you from San Antonio.
Have a good day. Bye.
Au revoir.